Welcome back to the Omaha Places Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Connor, and I'm the founder of Omaha Places and 402 Social, and we have a guest with us today.
Yeah, my name is Eric, and I'm just some random guy off the street that she just pulled up. No, I own Centi Gelato in downtown Omaha, and I do a little bit of work on the side for some restaurants. So
yeah, so yesterday I was frantically trying to figure out who I was going to record with. So we usually record this podcast on Thursday mornings, but as you guys know, we had a storm on Wednesday night, resulting in a lot of power outages. And then Delaney is getting her wisdom teeth out today. So you had actually messaged me literally just a week ago saying you wanted to come on the podcast.
I was like, yeah, you should put me on the podcast. I think it'll be fun. And I think I said it as like I was joking because it's just kind of cool. I had never been on a podcast before. And then next week it's like, hey,
want to come on?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, let me move some stuff around. Let's go ahead and figure this out.
You definitely manifested that, whether you meant to or not.
Yeah, it was easy. You know what I mean?
Okay, so before we get started, you mentioned you own Centi.
Yeah.
Tell people what Centi is and your background of like how you even got to the point of owning Centi.
So Centi is a gelato shop in the middle of downtown Omaha, like right across the street from Spaghetti Works, 11th and Howard. We do kind of like specialized flavors in the sense that we're taking flavors from like international kind of perspective. So like we have like taro on the menu right now. We have like matcha, and I'm not trying to make it all like Asian flavors or anything, but I mean, that's kind of like whatever flavors that I do end up liking, I'll like trying to pitch it to Omaha. But I ended up going to culinary school, and for whatever reason, I decided to do pastry. And so from my little love for pastry, I decided to, kind of experiment. And then from then I did like little pop-ups at like at bars, which is kind of funny. So we did like kind of like an affogato style type, alcohol thing. And that took off really well. And then I just started, just working in the industry, I just started making samples for friends while I was working at Yoshitomo, and, just making up different flavors like strawberry, balsamic, and all these kinds of just kind of, just romantic, I feel like, flavors. And I just ended up thinking, hey, maybe I should do something with this little hobby of mine. And I ended up asking Autumn from Hardy Coffee to see if she had any space available, because she owns the little shop downtown, and there is inside like a little bit of a space because they used to do a bakery in there. And it was just by chance, because then it's just not like she was like saying, oh, it's for rent or anything. I'm like, hey, do you mind if, I could rent some, some swoop in. So I had like a 300 square foot like little area that I worked in. And then kind of just took off with the brand, and then, we did really well. And then the next year after that, we found a spot to be in, and that's where we're at now.
And you're in like a prime spot.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah.
Right in the old market. Yeah. So Eric and I had met each other when he was at Hardy.
Right.
And you kind of framed it. That's when we met each other, right?
Was it?
I think so.
Maybe.
Was it before that?
I can't think of where. But no, I think I might have been there.
I think it was there. Because I remember coming in with our summer intern last year.
Okay.
But anyways, you had kind of like marketed it as a gelato speakeasy, which I always thought was really cool.
So it was just kind of hard to do what we were doing because it was like within a space, and like there was no like window or anything. So it was just like a door, and you would never know anything was there. So then I, like, after a couple of times of doing it, I think one of our customers was like, hey, so this is so cool. It's kind of like a speakeasy. And that just kind of stuck with me. I'm like, you know what? We're going to take that.
Yeah.
Then we're going to make it a speakeasy kind of situation. And so we had this whole like ring the doorbell type thing. I would come out and I would kind of explain all the flavors and stuff. And so, it was a little bit of a treasure. I mean, it's still a treasure now, but just like it was a little bit one of those things where you had to kind of like look for it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't really like, it was advertised or anything at all. There wasn't like a billboard saying, next exit, you'll find Centi. Yeah. So.
Well, cool. Okay. And you are the first business owner in Omaha that we're having on the podcast. So I feel like you're going to do well.
Oh,
no,
okay.
do well as far as like, you also wrote down a bunch of places that you've been recently on this list. So you're going to have a unique perspective.
Yeah. I'm trying not to say all the things that I think, just because I have so many thoughts about the places that I go, if that makes any sense.
Oh, we want to know all the thoughts, all the juice. Give us the tea.
Well, because like, in culinary school, you're like trained to try everything and like pretty like meticulously break down, you know, everything that's going on with whatever you're tasting. And so I feel like I do that a lot. And then I had one time someone had asked me when I was sitting at a restaurant, like, oh, how was everything? And for whatever reason, I like told them what I thought about everything, and like they ended up crying. And I like after that, I just like, oh, you know what? Everything is amazing. So, you know, I don't like to say that anything is bad, because like I have to consider other people's feelings too, right? So it's like not about, I wasn't even being harsh, right? I was just telling them, look, this is this and this is that. This is something that could be better. But I feel like I just telling somebody that their work isn't, you know, perfect, I think hurts a lot of people's feelings. And so I'm just not saying anything anymore.
Did they know that you had a culinary background?
I see, to be honest, I was in a like a nice restaurant, but I don't know that I don't think they did know that I have a culinary background.
Okay.
And so maybe I was just some random guy just like sounding like I was, you know, all this posh or whatever. And so maybe they took it the wrong way. And it was just,
I actually do remember one time, I can't remember which restaurant it was, maybe Memoir. Okay. And you had been there and I DM'd you and was like, oh, how is it? And you were like, well, from like a culinary perspective or from a friend perspective? And I was like, I don't know. Both?
Yeah. I remember that. Well, I mean, like, you know, also when places start, like when they're at their first inception, you know, people are trying to get their stuff together. You know, not everybody knows all the recipes, and people are having just hiccups here and there. So it's kind of just hard to just right off the bat just be like, yo, this is, you know, whatever. But, you know, everybody has, and after like a couple of weeks, I think you should be like kind of moving in towards the direction you kind of where I want to be. Yeah. And then for a lot of people too, like they won't go to a restaurant that just opened, right? Because they're like, oh my God, there's going to be long lines, you know, service is going to be wonky, and then like all these other things. And it's not until like a month or two later that, you know, people actually start.
Well, it's been interesting with working with Omaha Places for new restaurants. A lot of them don't want us to post about them right when they open, because I mean, if you're already getting that like that initial traffic and like kind of trying to figure out the kinks, and then if you add on an Omaha Places feature on top of that, you know, you don't want to be overwhelmed when you don't have all the kinks worked out yet. So usually if it's a sponsored post, they don't want us to come in for like 3 or 4 weeks after they open. So that's been interesting.
I did consulting for this guy, and so for his restaurant, somebody had come in and was like a reviewer or of sorts, and they like were posting pictures, and we saw it over there and had like 500 likes, and we're like, it's going to be busy tomorrow. And so we were trying to like hustle to get everybody, and it was like just slammed. And so like even all the people that we had at that time, because we had just recently opened, it had to been maybe like a couple of months. And so we're still getting through all the recipes. People, you know, it was a huge like a space with like, I don't know, 30 people working there, like as far as like the back of the house. And so it's hard to coordinate, and, you know, I had all hands on deck, but it was just still a lot. And so like anything like a huge post like that really early in the game does sometimes like turn things for the worse rather than, you know, for the better, as much as people wanted to.
Dang. Okay. Well, on that note, tell us some places that you have been recently.
I went to Smokin Oak. So here's something about me. Like I work all the time. And so like my fridge has water and then like some, like ketchup and like, you know, soy sauce and stuff like that. But like no actual food is in my fridge. Fair. So I'll either eat at work or I'll go out to eat. And so I've gotten the opportunity to, go to a lot of different places, this past week. And so Smokin Oak was one of them. It used to be a real, like a good choice for me. Their pizza was really good. I think right when they opened, so it's kind of weird. You think the opposite, but right when they opened, there was like a buffalo chicken pizza or something. I don't remember what it was, but I went there. It's nice. I think the whole like concept of having, you know, like beer on tap or whatever, alcohol on tap is kind of cool. And I think a lot of people probably, I don't know if it gets busy at night. I don't ever go at night.
I don't think I've ever been at night either, only for lunch.
It's got a huge space. Like the whole patio is kind of nice. And so I like think about, you know, every time I go to a restaurant, I'm like, oh my God, you know, how are they making money over here? How do you think this is going? And so like, the first thing I do when I walk in there is like, I see these signs or these like notices is like, you know, don't do this, warning, we'll catch you if you're, you know, if you get a glass of water and you're out there drinking beer, we ID everybody. And so like you see all these warnings and you start thinking about what had caused them to put a sign here to say this, this, and this. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. You know, they got wood fire pizza. I don't know. It's some brick oven. I don't know. I didn't look at the oven, to be honest, but they do pizza, and it's like a 72-hour thing or something. But no, it was good. I mean, I didn't have really a bad experience. You know, you order at the counter and you sit down, and they bring you the food, and so.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know Smokin Oak, it's in Midtown Crossing.
Yeah, Midtown Crossing.
They have a great patio overlooking Turner Park.
Yeah.
It's a really nice spot. It's one of my favorite lunch spots.
I think it's a nice spot, yeah. There was a thing before there, and I think it was hooked up to some... It was like two different concepts, and I don't remember what it was now that I think about it. But then I think they moved where in the Regency area.
Okay.
But then they also closed down for the Regency area or something like that. I don't remember what the place was called, but yeah.
Dang.
It's been a long time since that happened. Yeah.
All right. Well, one of the places I went recently, actually, I was out in like Elkhorn this week for, I don't even know why. I never go out that far.
Yeah.
But I had a meeting at the Grind Coffee House, which I used to go to quite a bit, actually, because we used to work with them a lot.
When did they open?
When?
Yeah.
Maybe like a year and a half ago now.
Okay.
We worked with them when they first opened for like 6 months or so. But then I like hadn't really been back out there since. But I went out there, got coffee with a friend, and then happened to run into one of the girls who works at 402 Social. Yeah. So that was kind of funny. She lives out there. Nice. And then because I was out in Elkhorn, I went to Maximo's Cantina. Have you ever been there?
Maximo's Cantina.
It's like in downtown Elkhorn.
I am probably the worst for any spot out in Elkhorn. I think the only place that I went to Elkhorn was probably Javi's Tacos, and then the next door was that breakfast spot. Sunnyside. Yep. And that was like right when they had opened, because I had a friend that was working at Sunnyside, so I'm going to go visit them. Okay. And then I kind of alternated between those two spots, but I've never been to anywhere like I think.
You should go to downtown Elkhorn, even just like maybe not even to eat, but just to like check out the vibe.
It close by to where I just said?
Yes, it's like right across the street.
Okay. Is it like kind of like old school town? Okay, yeah. I've seen it and I didn't know what it was. I like drove by because I got lost, because I was trying to find the place and I got lost. I'm like, this is kind of cool, but I've never seen any like I've never walked into any of those like restaurants or whatever bars they might have been.
It's like a cute little main street. It's only like a block wide, so it's not huge. But they have a couple like good restaurants. There's another, I think it's an Italian restaurant like on the corner there that I really want to try. And then
do you know what it's called?
No.
The Italian spot.
The Italian spot. I think there's only one on that block, so you guys can go figure that out for yourselves. And then there's a brewery there that has a really nice rooftop. I didn't go up there, but you can see it from the street. Okay. So there's actually some like hidden gems over there.
Nice.
But this Maximo's Cantina, it's just like it's like white person Mexican food. It's not what you're going to find in South Omaha.
Yeah.
But it was not the worst Mexican food I've had. It was actually pretty decent for just like a spontaneous lunch.
Super crazy thing about Mexican food. I think it's like really hard for a Mexican place to be successful. And like, not that I've like done something from scratch to like bring something up, only because like they face a lot of scrutiny from people that are from Mexico and also different parts of Mexico. And they're like, oh, this is not how it's made when I'm made. And so like if people hit the traditional, if they're like, they pitch it as like, oh, this is traditional Mexican, they're getting like, you know, just bad mouth from like all sides. And if they say they're like modern, then they're like, oh my God, this isn't real Mexican. So it's like, you can never win when you're doing like I have so much like praise for people who try to open up a Mexican restaurant, because you're just you know, you never win.
Yeah. This place had a really nice patio too. So like I would go back out there. Patio? It was not a rooftop, but it was like super covered. So even on a really hot day, you could still sit out there, and it was huge too. And they had like a little green space. I want to say maybe they have live music there every once in a while.
Like a mariachi band?
Maybe.
Or maybe like just like a regular
I really don't know. I'm just assuming they have live music because they have that little like green
little
area
cove
too.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I would recommend that. Go check it out. Okay, what's another place that you have been? You have quite a few on the list.
I'm gonna pull up the list. Sorry.
Okay, you pull that up while I mention my last spot.
Yeah.
The last one that I went to, this was a completely new spot for me, but I went to Cedar in Countryside Village.
Cedar.
It's a bar, and
is it just a bar?
Just a bar.
Okay.
It's not on
Countryside Village.
The like that front strip. It's like the second, like the back one.
Is it next to Moots? or is it like
I
on
don't
the
actually
third?
know where it's in. It's in the second one. I don't know if Mooch
What
is in
about
the very
Countryside
back.
Cones? I only know like
It's
three different.
It's right across from Countryside Cones.
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
But yeah, it is just like a little bar. It was pretty nice. I got the feeling that it was a lot of like locals, like a lot of neighborhood people
Right.
went there because the people I went with were like also running into people they know.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like one of those spots.
Kind of spots. Yeah.
So that was kind of fun.
That's
and
always nice.
You can't see it from the street, so it's like you don't know it's there unless you know it's there.
Right.
So that was a good spot to check out as well.
Yeah, Countryside is a little interesting spot, especially with like who just moved in there?
Saddle Creek Breakfast Club.
Saddle Creek Breakfast Club.
Yep. I still have yet to check out that space.
You haven't been there yet?
No.
Oh my god! They probably fixed it by now, but like I went in there and it was cold. Like I was just like freezing. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, and then there's like just pictures everywhere. It's pink. I'm not a big fan of the decor. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason for it. And there's like some background that if I asked, I would have probably got an answer. But it just seems like just a super odd space. I've always loved the food though. So I'm sitting there at the bar, just like, let me get some hash browns.
Is it a very different vibe from the other location?
Yes, I think the other location was very like authentic. It was small, like it was just very. I keep bringing up the word romantic, but it was like you're sitting down over there. You're kind of like close in proximity to other people. It just feels like. It's like organic, right? And then you go to this new space. It's a little bit more open. The interior is a lot more. It's bright. Like you have to like it's bright pink.
Okay.
I think if that's or magenta maybe I'm confusing my colors, but. And it's just super wide. It is, and I think it's just because it was cold that I felt like it was cold. You know what I mean? But the space definitely had changed the vibe. And I'm sure maybe they've moved things around since I've been, because I've only went there like I think the first week that they opened, maybe the day that they opened actually.
Dang.
And then so like I don't think their coffee machine was working at the time. So yeah, they were going through a whole list of problems. So I'm sure things have like changed since I've gone. So
well, that brings us right back to you got to give restaurants a couple weeks to work through the kinks before you go.
Yeah, and that was a long time coming, because I think people were asking about that for a while. Like, are you gonna expand? Is this gonna stay here? And I generally don't even know the full story. I just kind of like was waiting to see what happened, because I ended up going to the Saddle Creek, and there was no signage or anything, but I just saw some people moving stuff out of there. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess they're just going to be closed for a while.
Yeah.
So it's kind of mysterious, because I couldn't find anything on their page or anything either. So they were just like playing it really odd.
Yeah.
And then one day they opened, and I was like, you know what, it's time to go. It's time to go over there to Countryside Village. So.
Dang. Well, best of luck to them.
Yeah.
All right. Where else have you been?
I went to Single Double the other day.
The burger place?
Yes, in Blackstone.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of their burgers. A little on the pricier side for me. Here's my first impressions when I ever went into camp. I like the idea of it. It's like has its vibe, but for me personally, it's not for me.
Okay.
Like I feel like I'm past the cool colored lights and the like just loud music and so I just want to sit down and have a good meal, and they do have good food, and it's like, but it feels like more of that like party vibe, like and so it's just not for me. But I think the concept is really great for people who like really do want to go out and have like a good time in like that age range. That
you briefly mentioned this, but so Single Double is a vendor inside the camp food hall in Blackstone. So if you guys are wondering what we're talking about, and the first, I think, and only time I've been there was in the evening, and it definitely turns into a bit more of a party vibe. Like people are taking shots, but then also like eating like a really good meal. Right. Like they like turn. I mean, it's all windows in there, so like when it gets dark outside, like it gets quite a bit darker in camp as well. So that kind of like leans. Well,
I love the window concept, because what it used to be the Switch.
Yeah.
I don't know why they call it that, but it used to be the Switch, and they had like the open windows are just beautiful. You got to do something with it, and it's great that they do stuff with it, and I think it's under good hands. And they have that. I think their first sign that you get to see there is like, oh yeah, this is that Korean. What is it? Not barbecue. It's Korean something place or whatever. Yeah. So like people must be asking about something that Christina has done in the past, and so But I got some crab rangoons on the other side. I don't know what the other place was called. I don't know the names of the different places. I've only been there really for a single double. So yeah, I mean, it was good. It was a good meal. And parking sucks always there, but it's it was a good meal. I'm trying to think about the other places that I've gone. I mean, I've been to my random favorite for like frozen treats are like, it's either going to be Coneflower or it's either going to be orange leaf. And it's funny that I say orange leaf because it's like, I don't necessarily go there for the flavors or anything. I go there just because I get just a bunch of candy. And I just top it off and I'll just eat it. And that's the only time I eat candy because I don't eat candy on any other occasion. But I'll go to orange leaf and I'll just get a bunch of candy and I'll just munch it all off.
That's your sweet treat.
Yeah, it's just random. It's like you just don't see it because I don't like. If anybody was like, "You want any candy, Skittles, whatever?" Skittles used to be my favorite, but like I don't. I just don't eat candy on any occasion. But if you take me to orange leaf, I'm putting some Butterfingers, some Heath on there. Yeah, so
that's funny.
Yeah, it's just random.
All right. Well, let's move on to follower questions.
Cool.
So if you guys don't know, I post a question box on our Instagram story every Wednesday. So if you guys have questions, you can always submit them in that question box. If you think of questions and it's not on Wednesday and you don't want to forget, feel free to DM it to us. Just say, hey, I have a question for the podcast, and we will pick a couple of them each week.
Just always ask questions, and then you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the questions also don't have to be about like places to go in Omaha. Like it can be someone I kind of wish people would throw us like off the wall random curveball questions.
Yeah, like what? Think of something random right now.
Oh God, like I don't know, like what's your favorite movie? That's not like
there you go.
Crazy, but just something like that really doesn't have anything to do with Omaha, but just like something different for us to talk about. That's funny. Okay, but do you want to, let's switch these questions a little bit. So you can answer that first one.
Oh, sorry. I'm bad.
I'll read the question. So someone asked, where should I get cocktails before a concert in the Old Market? And I feel like you are extra qualified to talk about this because you own a business in the Old Market.
Yeah. So, man, cocktails. That's going to be a little different. Well, so I guess if you're like in the Orpheum Theater area, you mean your three go-to places right there are going to be like Cumbia. I think Mercury does some really good cocktails. I think is Barry and Rye close enough? What is that? Wilson Washburn?
Barry and Rye is a little more
right. So
like I mean, you could walk to Barry and Rye.
Okay. Well, so I guess the one I'm thinking about is Wilson and Washburn because that's the one that's down the street.
Oh, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah,
that's
really?
A bar?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they do food there too.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that is it should be across the street from 808. I might be like completely lying right now. It's just spreading misinformation.
Everybody fact check Eric before you just go.
Before you just go look for this place and you end up in Iowa or something. But yeah, I mean, and then you got Hotel Deco that's close by. I'm like, I don't know. It's weird. I'm kind of against going to like hotels only because I feel like you can go out and explore more like places that specialize in the things. I feel like hotels, they're just like there to provide a convenience more than it is an experience, you know what I mean? And so I always refrain from going to those places, but I'm sure like if you're in your hotel, I mean Hotel Deco has a pretty good bar. There's some couple other places over there. If you're going for the Orpheum Theater, that's I think in close proximity, those are like good places to go. If you're like Capital District, going to like any of those things, I know they have Burdock and Bitters. That's close by. You're gonna have to help me with those. The olive one, right?
Oh, the stuffed olive.
I've never been there. How is that?
I personally have not been there. Delaney was the one who went for Omaha Places.
Man, this is her
but I think
fault.
she liked it.
Did she?
But actually, she also went there. I think she was doing dry January, so she didn't actually have any cocktails.
Yeah. Some mocktails.
But she liked the ambiance of it.
The ambiance.
And then there's also Roxy that's right next door.
Oh yeah.
And that's like is it like 80s, like rock and roll themed? It might not be 80s. I think it's just.
Wait, there's a Roxy and a Moxie?
So I always get these confused. Moxie is the hotel in the Old Market, and then Roxy is a bar in the Capital
That's
District.
why I was confused because you said Roxy. I'm like, isn't that in the Old Market? Yeah.
Yeah, I get them confused all the time.
Got it, yeah.
But yeah, those are both down there. And then I'd also written down Laka Lono Rum Club.
Laka Lono. So there's Big Kahuna there. Shout out to Big Kahuna.
Yeah.
He's why can't I skipping his name right now? Anyways, we call him Big Kahuna, but he does
his name.
he does amazing cocktails there. He does great drinks. He's also with, I think that company itself is Maven Social.
Oh yeah,
he's part of the Maven Social group.
Yep.
I mean, I think all around Maven Social has some good,
very
good drinks if you'd ever go around in the old market there.
Isn't Barry and Rye also Maven?
Maven Social, Barry and Rye, Via Farina, and this place. What am I thinking of? Anyways, but everything in the old town. If they say Maven Social, it's probably going to be a good place to go for some drinks. So.
For sure. So yeah, that's our cocktail list. Oh, actually, the other one that I was gonna ask you if you've been to is Cattle Call.
I have not been. I have had some friends go to Cattle Call that sat on the patio, and I had a conversation with them about stuff, but I have not got yet to experience the new.
Do you know if they have cocktails though?
I think they do. They do offer drinks, and I believe they are offering them late into the night. I don't know because I think it's been changing. So I would double check on those hours just because I think they were like, 2 a.m. they had everything, and then they're like, push it back. I just think, I mean, it's just for me too. Like even cumbia. So like I have some hands for doing cumbia. So like if you're doing like drinks and stuff, you kind of want to have food later into the night. But the only people that like really go out and get food at like 2 o'clock in the morning are just hammered. And so it's kind of
like, do you want those people?
Yeah, you want everybody, coming in, it's like, oh man, just causing trouble. I know it just gets kind of weird. Yeah. And so like I fully respect, them pulling back on the hours too as well. Yeah. But I would double check on those. But yeah, I think they do cocktails. Yeah. I have not heard any reviews on anything of that, but yeah.
I know Delaney has been to Cattle Call. Cattle Call is a brand new spot. Also on the same block as Mercury and Cumbia.
Yeah, Green Room.
Yeah, right by the Orpheum Theater. Oh, that'd be another one.
Yeah, Green Room is a good one. I just thought about that too. So, yeah.
But maybe next week I'll have Delaney talk about her.
We'll just go down that strip and we'll just like...
Yeah. Let's tell you everything on that street.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question that we got was top 5 places for kids that range from 9 to 15. This was a very specific question.
Yeah.
And
you were like, yeah, this is the one.
Actually, Delaney chose this. Luckily, she wrote out all her answers. So sorry, Delaney, we're stealing your answers. Yeah. Okay, so obviously Luminarium and Zoo are kind of like...
I feel like those are the places that if you do visit, even for just like one time, you're coming in Omaha, you're just like passing by. Because I get a lot of people that just like come as you pass by. They're only here for like a couple of hours. I would definitely recommend either those two, the Luminarium or the Zoo, because I think they're one of the hottest attractions, especially for that age group. Right?
Yeah. And even like adults too. Like, it doesn't even have to. And kids younger than this. Like it's literally all ages for both of those.
Have you been to the Zoo at night or whatever it's called?
Yeah, the late nights at the Zoo.
Yeah,
that's
late
really
nights
fun.
at the Zoo. Yeah.
Yep. And then the other ones that she had written down was Wonder Bowl at Regency Landing, because that location is all ages.
What do they do there?
Bob and Willie's Wonder Bowl. They do mini bowling. It's the same one that's in Blackstone, but they have a location in Regency Landing now.
Okay. Where's Regency Landing?
Regency Landing is right across the street from Trader Joe's.
Okay.
Off Pacific.
Okay.
So they have a blue sky, patio and pickleball.
Is this the one with Nolly's?
I think Nolly's is in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. What else do they have in there? They have a corkscrew in there.
Okay.
And then there's what's that brunch place? Early Bird, I think, is in there.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a really random spot, but they have like
it's like right off the interstate,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right off the interstate as well.
The
so yeah, Wonder Bowl at Regency Landing, all ages can go to that versus the one in Blackstone is 21 and over. Storm Chasers games, those are always fun at Winter Park.
Somebody left some Storm Chaser like, what do you call them, like pamphlets at the shop. And I never even got to look at them, but they're like, I opened it up and it's just like so many words. And I'm like, I'm not reading all that.
Is it a list of games?
Yeah, it was just a list of games. I mean, it's helpful for people that know what that is. But for me, who have no idea what Storm Chasers is,
like, this is a different language.
I'm like, I'm not going to read all that. Like but I mean, what is Storm Chasers?
They're just like a local baseball team. So they have a lot of home games and then they'll travel as well. I don't know what league or
anything.
I also don't talk sports.
I don't talk
don't
sports
ask me
either.
any complicated questions.
All right.
But I've been to a couple of games and they're pretty fun. They're just like chill.
Okay.
Like it's not quite as intense as like going to the College World Series. You can just go and like stay for an hour if you want,
hang out and
leave Creative culture downtown. We've talked about quite a bit on this podcast.
Creative culture,
It's just like a art.
I won't go into it. Then.
Art studio.
I'll look at the podcast.
Smash Park in La Vista.
I have been wanting to ask you about that. How do you feel about that place?
I had
That's
a lot of fun.
That's the one by Costco, right?
Yes, it's right by Costco. I had a lot of fun. We went with our whole team, which usually just like one or two people will go. We only do maybe like once a month things that our whole team will go. Mm-hmm. I have heard that it gets quite pricey if you're going. We went to film, so everything was comped and we got to like try all the activities.
Right.
But you pay per activity that you want to do. So it's not just like you're paying and like getting in.
So what activities are there?
They have mini bowling, axe throwing.
Interesting. For kids.
Yeah, all ages can go.
Really?
Yeah. All ages might not be able to do all activities.
Okay. But people can go.
Quite sure
Okay,
about
I'm like
that.
axe throwing for my 9-year-old.
They have a couple big pickleball courts. So that's kind of like one of the main things that they offer. They have like the bag toss thing. They have a karaoke room. So there's like quite a bit of stuff in there. Yeah. And then of course they have like food and drinks. They have a big patio. Part of it's covered.
So the setup is you go there, you do an activity, and then you eat? Like, how does that?
It was a little like complicated. I really don't have a good answer for that because we ordered a bunch of food and drinks and we were like sitting at the tables and then we were like, well, we want to film. So we literally picked up all of our food and switched tables. And switched tables like 4 different times, moving around for the activities that we wanted to do.
Interesting.
So it wasn't very efficient. Luckily, we were there when like nobody else was there.
Right. So if like there's only room for, that would suck if I only wanted to go there for like pickleball and like all the pickleball tables are, But so I'm just trying to think because I think I've been to the Amazing Pizza Machine and it had something similar, but I think it was just buffet. And then like.
This one you like actually order off a menu.
Okay.
So.
And you have a server and everything? Okay, got it.
Yeah. So I think the better option would be go with a big group.
Got it.
Have some people like stay at the table, eat. Yeah. Other people can like go off and do an activity and then maybe switch.
Yeah, the master plan.
Yeah. Or you can just go eat, finish eating, and then go play games.
Got it.
Or vice versa.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not like a one person thing.
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah. You
like, oh my God, I want to treat myself to something. I want to go to this one. Got it.
No, you got to get some people to go with you. I love it. Okay. And then the last couple that we had written down was the Tree Rush Adventure in Fontanelle Forest. That one's always fun.
I've been wanting to go to that.
It's fun.
Is it physically demanding?
It's very tiring.
Yeah.
I was absolutely exhausted after like 30 minutes.
Things like that gets me excited because you're just like, oh my God, I got to have the willpower to do this, but also the strength. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. I've just seen like a bunch of pictures and like videos of just people like, I don't know, just doing a bunch of activities that look a lot of fun, I guess.
Yeah. And then you added this one, tubing down the Elkhorn River.
Yeah, I've done that.
A good addition.
I've done that once. No, I've done it a couple of times actually. I lied. And I think it was through like, you have to take like a bus there. I don't know. I wasn't in charge of like the whole like logistics of that, but I was there for the ride. I was like, you know what? I'm the +1. And we took a bus and we went to this area and we like waited. And then some instructor was like, all right, get in. And so we had our like tube stuff and then we went and definitely
with a group.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had like organized tours. I think a
lot of people, I think a lot of people would just go there, but maybe I'm thinking of something completely different, to be honest, now that I think about it. But no, I definitely think that's it. And then you have to have sunscreen. Like, please, for sure, wear sunscreen. There's like people in the group there's people that were in the group, they were just not wearing sunscreen. They're just getting hammered. Like even in the picture, they're just like somebody getting hammered. And so like, they're just like laying there, they fall asleep and then just like, boom. And they're hurting for the next couple, whatever.
Oh my gosh. And a burn could be 10 times worse because you're on the water. So it's like
it's
reflecting. Yeah. Wear sunscreen, everybody.
Yes.
Okay. The last section we have events happening this weekend. So this is going to be the weekend of August 8th through the 11th. So if you are binge watching or listening later on, as Eric did last night.
Yeah, I was watching this.
Then you can go ahead and turn us off because this is going to be out of date. But the first one that I had was the Pinnacle Bank Golf Championship and the Live and Loud concert. So this is happening out in Elkhorn. I don't exactly know where the golf is happening.
That's what I was going to ask. That was my next question. I was like, is she going to tell me where?
Well, the golf is going to happen at the golf course.
Yeah. Over there in Elkhorn.
The Live and Loud concert, that is going to be at the club at Indian Creek in Elkhorn, which I don't exactly know what that is. I think it might also be at the golf course. Yeah. I think it's like all the same event.
That golf course is amazing. They're popping.
Really?
No, I have no idea. I'm just the way that they're doing so many activities all at once.
But this is happening August 8th and 9th. It is ticketed. Tickets start at $25 and go up to like $125.
Based on?
If you want like VIP or like a little box to yourself, or it's the concert part at least is put on by Barnado.
Okay.
So they, I think, kind of just use their same ticketing system. And our team is actually going to be there. Oh. So if you guys see us, come say hi.
Get an autograph from Cahner herself.
Okay, the next one that I had was salsa at Sunny's. Have you ever done that?
Have I ever done salsa before? Or have I ever been to Sunny's?
Both.
Both. I think I did salsa practice dance class, I think one time. It was for like beginners, and I was like, this is cool, but I think it's something that you have to like, if you want to learn it, I think you're gonna have to commit to it. So like, I think it was just something that I wanted to try out to see it, and I was like, it wasn't enough for me to be like, I'm about to be the greatest salsa dancer. I'm very competitive. So if I try something out and I'm like, oh, this is good, I'm like hooked on it. I'm reading books on like how to twist my feet, dude, ballerina dances. I don't know. How to twist doing some crazy stuff, you know? And so like, what are the best shoes for salsa dancing? And so I don't want to get competitive in salsa dancing. So I was like, you know what? I think this is good. This is a good experience. Yeah. It's a good experience for sure. I think just trying out a dance class in general, I think is fun.
Yeah, and Salsa at Sunny's is put on by Nebraska Salsa Scene, and all of their events are always free. So that's always good if people want to just go try it out. You don't have to get super into it like Eric.
Don't get super into it. I'm weird. Don't listen to me.
But yeah, Salsa at Sunny's is happening August 10th from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. So it's also a late night thing to do. Yeah.
After you're done eating at Smash Park.
Yeah. Well, they're really not in the same area. But I guess you could do both. If
I don't know. I'm just like putting two and two together. I'm just trying to,
trying to make a little itinerary for the people.
Yeah.
Okay. A big one is going to be Outlandia.
Okay.
That is at Falconwood Park down in Bellevue, August 9th through 10th, or 9th and 10th, I guess.
Falconwood Park.
I have never been to Falconwood Park, actually, but they have a lot of cool stuff happening down there. And since there's no Maha this year, this is like the only really big. I've heard, not conflicting things. I've just heard different things that I'm not sure if I should share on the podcast.
No. Got it.
So we'll table that discussion for hopefully next year when it comes back. Yeah. And then the last event that we had is the Blackstone Open. So this is a putt-putt competition around the Blackstone district. This is the first year that they're doing it.
Is it just like random places?
Yeah, there is a list on their Instagram. So if you guys go find that Instagram post, they have a list of all the different Blackstone businesses that are participating. It's $100 for a team of 4. Costumes are encouraged.
Ooh. What? Costumes like...
I don't know. I'm just reading Delaney's notes here.
Oh, okay. Like costumes? All right. Yeah.
So yeah, go register for Blackstone Putt-Putt Open. That'll be an interesting event. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that's going to
Delaney with the mystery theme. Like, we don't know what the theme is, but it's going to be full of costumes.
Maybe we're just putting that out there and that wasn't actually
right. And it's
people are going to show up in costumes. They're going to be like, what do you guys do?
Got Harry Potter over here, and they got Mario in the other one.
All right. Well, anything else you want to say to the Omaha Places listeners?
I don't know. This has been fun. I really enjoy this.
You like podcasting?
I do like podcasting.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I get to talk about whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
within reason.
Yeah, within reason. I can just talk about my life, like.
Yeah.
But this is good. Definitely go check out Centi if you are in the neighborhood downtown. Also,
I can vouch for it.
Yeah, there's some vouch. Also, Cumbia is very good. Right next, if you go to the Orpheum Theater, I think it's like, if I could count the steps, it'd probably be like 30 steps from the Orpheum Theater. If you're ever down in that area.
1 block away.
Definitely a good spot to get some food and grub. So.
Yeah. And if you guys see Eric, say hi.
Say hi to me on the street. I'm usually walking between both places. So yeah, if you ever see me on sometimes I ride a Lime scooter, you know?
Oh.
Yeah.
Dear Lord, we'll just see you whizzing past.
See me whizzing past. Try to get back here without having to park.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, so.
Dang. All right. Well, that is it for this week. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Omaha Places Podcast.
Yeah.
And I will see you guys next week.
We'll see whenever.
Hopefully Delaney will be back next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.